Hello, Dr. Coker here, and this is the story recap of Grahtwood from the Elder Scrolls Online. This is the third part of the Aldmeri Dominion series. Previously in Arden, after defeating the Veiled Queen, the real Queen, Irene, tells you there's trouble in Elden Root and offers a ship for you to check it out. This is what brings you to Grahtwood. When you arrive at the port town of Haven, Captain Jamila tells you it's under attack by pirates. She also spotted a Royal Khajiit soldier with some refugees, so she suggests you speak with her. You approach the soldier and ask what happened.
I'm uncertain. Lord Grahtwood brought my unit to Haven as part of our final training. But when we arrived, the city was under pirate attack. We worked with the fisherfolk to help the citizens escape.
She tells you the pirates call themselves the Jackdaws, then asks you to find Lord Grahtwood. You start by asking the refugees about the Lord so you can locate him. One tells you he was headed across the nearby marsh to sneak into the city. You find him inside a fortified house at the edge of the city. Severely outnumbered, he asks you to try and get information from the Jackdaw lieutenants about what they're planning. You can either eavesdrop or kill them and steal their orders. You find that they are plotting something involving a Wamasu, a necromantic ritual, and the sewers. Heading to the sewers, you find the Dominion lieutenant just outside. She's shocked when you tell her the pirates have a necromantic ritual planned.
What? Why would pirates do such a thing? We must get to the fort and stop them. But if they hold the fort, they must have the gates locked. How could we get in?
You offer to sneak into the city through the sewers and open the gate. She agrees and goes to get reinforcements. Lord Grahtwood and more Khajiit royal guard greet you in the city. Grahtwood has learned that the pirates are conducting a ritual in the Fighters Guild Hall, so you head that way. After stopping the ritual, you return and speak with Lieutenant Kazargi, who's mortally wounded but happy that victory is near. Then you speak with Grahtwood, who's happy to say that the pirates have been driven out of Haven. You tell him about Kazargi, but he's confident she'll recover. With that situation under control, you ride to Elden Root to speak with King Camoran, as Queen Irene asked earlier.
You're a bold one to approach so fearlessly. Give me a good reason to speak with you. I'll make it seem like you're here at my request. Otherwise, my subjects will think you cut the line and start sizing you up for dinner.
You tell him the Queen sent you and he appreciates that. He says the Queen promised to build an embassy for the Khajiit, but it's been a year and it still isn't finished. Prince Naaman is responsible, so he suggests you speak with him. You ask the prince what's causing the delay, but he's too angry to answer. High Kin Lady Estri, who you killed in Arden, was his wife, and he wants nothing to do with you. So instead, you seek out Ambassador Taranway. The ambassador shifts the blame to the laborers who she calls lazy, and she says she's already done her part. Next, you find a storeroom where the building supplies are kept, but it's guarded. You argue with the guard and eventually bribe or persuade him to move. Inside, you find that all the supplies are useless or broken. Prince Naaman greets you outside and you speak with him. He appears to be on your side and is frustrated with the ambassador, saying the project is far behind. The prince heads off to speak with her while you head to the site to speak with the laborers. You find a dead laborer, and there are signs that he was murdered. Then you're approached by a ranger.
So you're standing over the body of a dead wood elf. Nearly put an arrow in your throat. Good thing I recognize you.
He says the work crew is missing and the king asked him to investigate. The two of you are increasingly suspicious of Taranway, who just left the embassy, so the ranger has a plan to follow her and see what she's up to. You meet outside the Middens, the criminal underbelly of the city, where the ranger says you'll likely have to capture the ambassador.
Prince Naaman sent someone to the embassy. We have to leave before we're discovered.
It's too late! For the heretic!
On your feet! You're coming with me!
The ranger takes her away and you return to the king. The king is pleased and can't wait for you to tell the prince.
I heard what you said to the king. Ambassador Tarinway, a traitor, my wife's killer, a loyal servant, and I, Queen Iren's representative in Elden Root, required to thank you for your efforts. Very well. I'll provide no reason to question my duty to the Dominion.
He rewards you, then reveals that the ambassador knew the details of the queen's upcoming ratification ceremony and may have sabotaged it. The ceremony involves an ancient device called the Orrery, so he asks you to speak with Melloros, who's standing next to him, as he'll know what to do. Melloros is an expert on the Orrery, and he says delicate magic is needed to make it work. He needs you to find Conservator Daraneth, a Khajiit relic, and the Heart of Enumeril. You start by seeking out the Conservator, who's currently in South Point, a bit far from Elden Root. As you approach South Point, a guard tells you it's off limits. The citizens are killing each other in the streets as madness grips the city. You run ahead to her captain, and he can't figure out what's going on. He sent scouts into South Point and they haven't returned. You offer to look for them, and he mentions that Daraneth is here as well. You find Conservator Daraneth outside the city. She says it's obvious whose work this is in South Point.
Sheogorath, Daedric Prince of Madness. You have heard of him, haven't you? Doesn't seem like it's mustering up any excitement.
She accompanies you into the city to find the scouts. The two of you check out several homes and are occasionally attacked by delusional citizens. In one home, you find one of the scouts tied up beside the fire. He says the other scouts were turned into bears, but the mayor has magically sealed himself in the cathedral and said the townsfolk could eat him for dinner. You set him free and speak with Daraneth.
So just turned into bears, people setting themselves on fire, and now a mad mayor locked in a cathedral. I know I should be horrified, but it all sounds so exciting.
She says she can help turn the soldiers back into humans and unseal the cathedral.
Thank you. I can leave this nightmare.
The town is broken. Flee while you can.
After helping the soldiers, you and Daraneth travel to her lab to recover a scroll she needs to unseal the cathedral. You find that the lab is constantly being struck with unnatural lightning, and Daraneth suspects someone atop a nearby tower is conjuring the storm. Sure enough, a madman is thoroughly enjoying the pain he's inflicting on everyone, so you shove him off the tower and the storm ends.
Didn't think you had it in you, but the storm's clearing. We should head to my laboratory.
You return to the lab and find her scroll in the basement. Then the two of you rush to the cathedral. Using the scroll, you're able to enter the building to confront the mayor inside. He's filled with self-pity and says Sheogorath made him do all of this, but after the Daedric Prince appears, he grovels before him. Then Sheogorath knocks you out, and later you wake up in a jail cell next to Daraneth. She says Sheogorath had possessed her body, but thankfully didn't cause any harm. She also says that the mayor has always tried to blame others, and the only way to save the city is to kill him. Sheogorath then appears at your cell and tells you he wanted the mayor to kill you, but he couldn't do it. Now he wants you to kill the mayor.
I led you right here to make it all boring again. And what did he do to stop you? Nothing. There I stood, in my best old lady suit, and he said it was all my fault. He just needs motivation. What better than an escaped prisoner seeking vengeance?
You agree to fight the mayor if Sheogorath promises to leave South Point forever. He opens your cell and vanishes. Then you fight your way out of the dungeon. The Daedric Prince appears on the way and annoys you with taunts and challenges. But you make it to the mayor and speak with him. He whines some more and continues to shift the blame. You can either kill him or force him to go to oblivion with Sheogorath. Once this is done, the Daedric Prince leaves South Point for good.
Don't be a stranger!
With Daraneth returning to Elden Root, you set out on the second task from Melloros, finding the Khajiit relic. You speak with a wood elf named Brelor at the Fallen Esti winter site. He's distracted with frost trolls.
The walking city of Farlinesti used to spend its winters here. Since then, the Farlinesti faithful come on pilgrimage to pray for its return. But Dominion soldiers pressed the pilgrims into service. They made them dig. Well, they dug up frost trolls.
Dominion General Andare gave this order as he's looking for Regine's mantle, the same Khajiit relic you seek. Brelor says the relic is dangerous and he hopes you find it before Andare does, so he agrees to help you. You escort him to the Welkin stones, which contain information about the mantle.
Let's see what these stones reveal.
The stones reveal pieces of a memory of the Khajiit trickster god Regine. Piecing them together, you learn that Regine was in love with a married high elf woman and kept trying to sleep with her. She consistently refused, and eventually he sealed her in a vault along with his mantle. You speak with Brelor, who says the general has already uncovered the vault. He suspects that Kirtor, a Fallenesti wood elf, might know where the site is, so the two of you seek him out. Kirtor says that the Dominion soldiers were mostly slaughtered by the frost trolls they unleashed, but Andare and a few soldiers survived. He also says that after some reasoning, Andare agreed to treat the wood elves less harshly. Anyway, he points you to the site, so you head that way. After searching a few caves, you encounter Nerume, the married high elf woman that Regine trapped here. She's made of ice and says that's the only form she can take outside her prison. She promises to help you find the mantle if you help to set her free.
There. Come. Let us speak of Regine.
Inside the vault, you can see her in her natural form.
My prison holds me in complete solitude for centuries. Yet 2 visitors arrive on the same day. But we have little time. General Andare has pushed deeper into the prison.
She gives you her wedding ring and says with it, you can direct her to freeze enemies you encounter. The two of you go deeper in the vault in search of Andare. Finally, you find General Andare and speak with her. She has the mantle but refuses to hand it over, even when you tell her the queen needs it for her ceremony. Eventually, she uses the mantle to make a shadow clone of herself and attacks you. You take the mantle from Andare's corpse, then return to the vault's entry and speak to Nerume in her natural form. She says that to free her from this prison, just place the mantle in a brazier, but note that it will remain unharmed.
Lady Nerume.
When you do so, the trickster god appears and says that since she denied his love, he will deny her his home, so he has taken the walking city. You speak to her and she wants desperately to get home, but notes that she has been gone a long time.
What else can I do but seek my home? But everything is so different now. General Andare mentioned an Aldmeri Dominion, yet I don't know what that means. Without someone to guide me, I may as well prostrate myself before Regine's shadow.
You tell her that Brelor can help, and the two of you return to him together. Brelor is amazed to learn that you have recovered the mantle and freed Nerume, but saddened to hear that Andare went mad and had to be killed. You entrust him to take the mantle back to Elden Root, then seek out the last thing needed for the ceremony, the heart of a numeral. You approach Nondor at the site of a Mages Guild excavation. He sounds excited about their progress, but asks you if you could enter the ruins and check on Larinalda, the mage overseeing the excavation. Just inside, you find her and speak with her. She says the books are attacking her and her assistants are missing, but otherwise, she seems to be okay. She says they are looking for the heart and haven't found it yet. You head deeper in the ruins to find her assistants. At a place called the Flesh Gardens, you find that a Dremora has turned one of the assistants to stone. You ask the Dremora how to free him.
Why, you need to entertain me. There are a variety of chests throughout the gardens. I placed your friend's soul in one of them. See if you find it before my posing retinue tears you to pieces. Once you find his soul, you restore his flesh.
He's a bit disoriented, but after a moment he rushes back to Lorinalda. Then you find an area called the Hall of Wisdom and encounter the other assistant who's magically trapped here. He tells you that Watcher Eyes are needed to disable the trap, so you run around and kill some Watchers.
I'm glad the eyeball was worth it. So good when a theory works in practice, you know?
The two of you return to Lorinalda.
Ah, good. Everyone back in one place. I was beginning to worry.
Meanwhile, she has learned something from one of the books. She says there's a deep chamber in the ruins that contains the heart of a numeral, and she knows where it is. Before heading there, she asks you to accompany her for something. The two of you step aside, and in private, she asks you if you encountered any significant beings in the ruins, so you tell her about the Dremora Ukazai in the Flesh Gardens. She's concerned that this Dremora may be controlling the assistant's mind. She says she'll run some tests while you and the other assistant head to the deep chamber, the Hall of Might. Together, you discover a secret room behind a bookcase, and right in the center of it is the heart of a numeral. As you approach the heart, the Dremora takes control of the assistant, who then grabs the heart and runs off, so you chase him.
See how fast it can come.
He gets away, so you return to Lorinalda to inform her that the second assistant, Behalir, was being mind-controlled, not the first one, Tadrini.
Behalir suggested Tadrini was under her control. A ruse. And one I should have seen. But if Ukezi has the heart of a numeral, she can use it to restore her spirit to her body. We have to get it back.
Thankfully, she knows which way the Dremora went, so you rush in after her. You catch her at the end of the ritual, draining the heart's power.
Yes, I can feel it.
You recover the drained heart, then face the Dremora in the flesh. As you kill her, the heart is restored, and you return to Lorinalda outside the ruins. She's amazed at what you've accomplished, and she agrees to take the heart to Elden Root immediately. Then you head back to Melaros.
You have done what has not been done in centuries. All the parts of the Orrery have been placed within the chamber, and Daraneth awaits us below. I must admit to being more than a little excited. I've never seen the Orrery operational.
He tells you Conservator Daraneth wishes to speak with you, so you head to the Orrery and find her next.
You don't need to be here, Your Highness.
She tells you that you've earned the privilege of putting the pieces in place, so you get started. Just after the Orrery activates, Prince Naaman steps forward and binds you, then tries to step inside its central pillar. But suddenly he transforms into a giant ogrim and must be slain. After defeating him, you speak to the Queen and ask what happened when the prince entered the Orrery.
What the legend says. It revealed the person within. As it will do to me.
So now she has to enter it to determine if she's fit to lead her people. She emerges as herself, not changed in any way, so you ask her what she saw inside.
A dominion of peace. The fair and just rule of Tamriel, beneath an Aldmeri banner. A future I hope to build. And you, standing at my side. Come, help me build the future.
She says, as far as she's concerned, the prince died trying to help her, not steal the throne. You ask what's next in your journey together, and she says the Staff of Magnus needs to be secure. She asks you to travel to Marbrook in Greenshade where it is kept, and she will meet you there. And that's the end of the story of Grahtwood. I hope you've enjoyed this story. Stick around on this channel. I'll be making the next video in this series, The Story of Greenshade. Until next time.